energy needs may change with the seasons, but saving money makes sense all year. With CenterPoint Energy's efficiency programs, it's easy. Home energy assessments help spot ways to save. Rebates can lower heating, cooling equipment costs, and
You're watching. You're watching Ohio Valley Conference Softball on ESPN+. My name's Kyler Messenger, bringing you the play-by-play live from the Southeast Softball Complex here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Today's matchup, a little rematch from yesterday's game, is between the Tigers of Tennessee State and none other than the Red Hawks of Southeast Missouri. It's a beautiful day for some softball, a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. It was in the 50s. Today, it's in the 60s. As you see this graphic on screen, it's sitting at 66 degrees right now, but something to notice, 15-mile-per-hour winds going on here in Southeast Missouri at SEMO Softball Complex specifically. We got some winds going on, so that will have to be a factor that Elliot Stinson pays attention to. That is your starting pitcher for SEMO today. Stinson, a senior from Rushville, Illinois, getting the start today. Stinson, a veteran pitcher. She'll be facing a veteran lineup that you're seeing on screen for Tennessee State right now. Leading off is their center fielder, Jasmine Blackburn. Then it's Alexis Woods, Jace Jackson hitting third, KK Jean-Baptiste hitting fourth, Haley Hunt fifth, followed by Kyra Taylor, Danny James, Mariah Brown, and Jaquila McDaniel rounding out that Tennessee State lineup. That's who will bat first. So the first three for Tennessee State will be Blackburn, Woods, and Jackson. Here's your look at the starting pitchers today, brought to you by Jostens. Jostens, the official recognition company of the OVC. It's Stinson for SEMO. Miriam Gordon on the other side for Tennessee State. We'll get the first look at the freshman in the bottom half of the inning. So we got a senior in Stinson for SEMO, a freshman in Gordon for Tennessee State. And here we go. Softball at the Southeast Complex is underway. First pitch by Elliot Stinson is a little bit high. The senior throws the first ball of the game. It's Jazz Blackburn up to bat. 1-0 count. Second pitch for Stinson also a little high. 2-0 to Blackburn, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia. Yesterday in SEMO and Tennessee State's matchup, it was a win for SEMO as Blackburn check swings. Home plate umpire Brad Sloan will go down and check and see if she went. They say she did. 2-1 count to Blackburn. And Stinson fires back and finds the zone. That's Brad Sloan, the home plate umpire. He checked it first with Adam Ryder, the first base umpire, And then over at third, we got three umpires today. It's Randy Hale. Full count now for Jazz Blackburn, first batter of the day. She's seen 5 pitches. The sixth will now be delivered by Stinson, who's on the mound and ready to fire. Stinson walks the very first batter of the game. So Tennessee State getting started off in a way that they would like to see. You get a base runner with no outs. Jazz Blackburn starts it off for Tennessee State. Now next up will be Alexis Woods. Woods, a junior, been at Tennessee State her whole career. She'll get the bunt down. It's going to be fielded by Stinson, caught by short at first. A successful sac bunt for Alexis Woods. She advances Jasmine Blackburn over to second. Woods does get out, but it won't go down against her in the stat sheet. She'll still be 0 for 0 because she did get that sac bunt. Next up is Jace Jackson, and you know all about Jackson if you're a fan of the Tennessee State Tigers. I'll tell you a little bit about her throughout this game if you're a Red Hawks fan unfamiliar with Jace Jackson. She's a transfer from UPitt. She originally committed to UPitt as a freshman. She's now in her junior season at Tennessee State, currently her second year with the Tigers. Jackson, a very, very good player. She'll start at short today as she gets a bat on that ball, but it's foul. So now a 0-2 count for Jace Jackson. Jackson, originally from Locust Grove, Georgia. Locust Grove, Georgia. Went to Pitt originally, and now here in Tennessee, fouls this ball off again. It'll remain a 1-2 count to Jace Jackson. Jace Jackson in yesterday's game against SEMO. Now Tennessee State lost 7-2. Jackson was one of 4 players on the Tigers roster to earn herself a hit. She went 1 for 3 yesterday, and she is going to be the first out recorded for the Red Hawks. Elliott Stinson gets her first strikeout. Jace Jackson records the second out for the Tigers. Now with 1 runner in scoring position and 2 outs, it brings up our player to watch, KK Jean-Baptiste. They got the government name up there on the score sheet, but we'll just call her KK for today. Yesterday, she was their best player, hitting-wise and fielding-wise. She did everything for them yesterday. Went 2 for 3 at the plate as she chops on this softball. Now an 0-2 count to Jean-Baptiste. But those stats that you saw on the screen a little bit, she went 2 for 3 yesterday, was the only Tiger to record multiple hits, even had an RBI in one of those. Stinson tried to bring the high heat. She did bring the high heat. It was just a little bit outside, but an 0-2 count, that's absolutely the time to miss your pitch. 1-2 count here to Jean-Baptiste. And a little bit low, but it's scooped in the ground by SEMO starting catcher today, Reagan Brannon. That's right, that's Reagan Brannon back there. Yesterday, it was Gracie Luna. Today, Brannon gets to start in the field. Now, she did start on the plate yesterday, and Stinson gets the strikeout. That's going to be the side for SEMO. They get the top of the first untouched. It's 0-0. We'll see you in the bottom of the first very soon. Don't forget, you're watching SEMO Softball on ESPN+.
Hey girls, swung the new mantra yet?
No, but I heard that bat is insane.
Y'all want to swing for it?
Yeah, we do, but we know how that went last time.
Yeah.
Let's go, girls, come on. Man, y'all can stand on your own. I guess I'll give you a couple.
We'll actually take 4.
Mantra, power on repeat.
Ready for a local getaway that feels like a world of its own? Escape the ordinary and discover the charm of Southern Illinois. With local wineries, live concerts, farmers markets, and scenic trails to explore, there's an adventure tailored for every taste bud and passion. Our breathtaking lakes offer endless possibilities for adventure. Rent boats, jet skis, or kayaks, and explore our world. Visit Southern Illinois. Start your adventure today.
What's it like to be a student athlete in the OVC? We rise to challenges and challenge others to rise with us. We show respect. We lead by example. In the OVC, we become champions on and off the field. That's OVC sports, and you've got to OVC it.
Welcome back into the Southeast Softball Complex. We're here for the bottom of the first inning. Miriam Gordon on the mound for Tennessee State, the freshman from New Boston, Indiana. And a little switch up of the Red Hawks lineup. If you were here with us yesterday, Brittany Afalter now batting leadoff. And the very first pitch to Afalter is a strike. So Afalter batting first. It'll be Winkler batting second. Aubrey Shore in the hole. She's third, and we'll see the rest of that lineup potentially in this bottom of the first. If you were here with us yesterday, SEMO won 7-2, and they did so because of the bottom of the first that they had. They started this game off 4-0 after the first frame yesterday. It was a dominating win for the Red Hawks, and it started early. Brittany Afalter leading it off for the Red Hawks. hoping to start the energy off right. Falter watches this pitch go just a bit outside. It'll be a 2-1 count. Miriam Gordon getting another start to her freshman season campaign. What a start to the year that she's had. Miriam Gordon, a 6.35 ERA. Coming in today, a falter gets a hold of the softball, and it looks like it might have stayed right on that fair line, but it did hit a part of her body, maybe ricocheted off of the leg, so it will be a do-over called by our home plate umpire, Brad Sloan. A falter now faces a 2-2 count. The pitch from Gordon. A falter watches it outside yet again, so both pitchers getting a full count for the very first batter of the game. On SEMO's side, in this last top of the first inning, they gave up a walk to the first batter. We're about to see what Miriam Gordon gives up to her first batter, Brittany Afalter. The pitch, Afalter swings and stays alive. Just what you want to do with 2 strikes. Brittany Afalter will get another go at it. You got Madison Winkler on deck, our player to watch for SEMO today. 2 lefties leading off the SEMO lineup. They moved Afalter up in the lineup today, so she bats from the left. Winkler bats from the left. Miriam Gordon throws from the right. She'll face 2 lefties to start today. Here's the full count delivery. Afalter fouls it off yet again. Full count again for Afalter. Brittany Afalter, a senior here for the SEMO Red Hawks team. We talked about it yesterday, but there's going to be a lot of points that we talk about multiple times in this broadcast today because we got a back-to-back game, and then yesterday we had another game. Afalter been here at SEMO all 4 years of her career. She smacks this softball into center. It's going to get over the head of Blackburn. A lead-off double for Brittany Afalter. We talked about SEMO yesterday, starting off right. Brittany Afalter making it rain, doing just that, getting SEMO started off right. A lead-off double for Afalter, and that's going to bring up Madison Winkler up to bat next, already in a position where she could have another RBI. You see that stat on the top of your screen. Yesterday, she had 2 hits and 2 RBIs already. Today, getting it started, she pops up here to the left fielder. It will be caught by Jaquila McDaniel. So 1 out. Tennessee State quickly, after giving up a double to Brittany Afalter, gives up an out. Very good for Miriam Gordon if you're on the mound, if you're fans of the Tigers. For SEMO, you still got 2 more outs to go with the runner already in scoring position. And now the 2-time OVC Player of the Year, Aubrey Shore, is up to bat. Here's the delivery. Shore watches the first pitch high. Madison Winkler pops up in her first piece of action today. She starts in right today. Little fun fact, the only game all season that Madison Winkler has not started in center field is today. The very first day that she has not started in center is today. As Shore gets a rip of that ball, it's fielded by Jean-Baptiste at first. She throws over to third, but it's overthrown. So that's going to be a throwing error on Tennessee State, and SEMO earns a run. KK Jean-Baptiste was able to field the ball by her shortstop, Jace Jackson, but then just overthrew her third basewoman, Danny James, and that allowed Brittany Afalter to score. A opening lead for SEMO. Now they do have 2 outs, but they get on the board here early. Now it's Addie Martini up to bat, batting clean up today. So Aubrey Shore grounds out. Post a pop-up from Madison Winkler, but it still advances a runner because of a throwing error by the first basewoman of Tennessee State. Martini watches this pitch a little bit inside, says Brad Sloan, the home plate umpire. Martini now with a 2-0 count. She's getting the start at shortstop today. Today now the 36th consecutive game that Addie Martini has started for the SEMO Red Hawks. And we said it yesterday. As Martini rips this ball into center field, it will be caught by Blackburn, and we'll see you in the top of the second. But first, We're going to take a quick look at our replay of what happened to get SEMO that one run. What I was saying while we watched this replay is that Addie Martini has now started 36 consecutive games for this SEMO Red Hawks squad. So we're looking at that last play where you saw a bunt be fielded by Stinson and thrown out to short. That's how SEMO ended their top of the first. We'll see you here in the top of the second. You're watching SEMO Red Hawks softball on ESPN+. We are back here at the Southeast Softball Complex. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties going on here. Elliot Stinson still on the mound for SEMO. They took a 1-0 lead there in the bottom of the first. It's Haley Hunt batting for the Tigers now with a 2-0 count. So SEMO got off to a lead in the bottom of the first due to a throwing error by the first basewoman, KK Jean-Baptiste of Tennessee State. Now a 3-0 count for Haley Hunt, the sophomore out of Clermont, Florida. There's a delivery from Elliot Stinson. And it's going to be a 4-pitch walk, the second straight inning where she has allowed a walk to the very first batter she faced. Last time we saw it in the bottom of the first, she locked in. She gave up a sac bunt after giving up the walk, but then struck out the next two batters to finish the side off. Stinson maybe just doing it on purpose. Maybe that's her pitching tactic. I don't think don't quote me on that. That's not actually what I think, but you never know. Elliot Stinson could just need to get her rhythm down. So we're taking a look at a replay here. This is a replay from the first inning. This is how SEMO ended their first inning on a bunt ground out. That was that sac bunt by Alexis Woods that we were just talking about. That happened in the top of the first. Here in the top of the second, it's now Kyra Taylor up to bat. Kyra Taylor scored one of Tennessee State's 2 runs yesterday. They scored 1 run in the top of the second and 1 run in the top of the third. So right now, if we're looking for history to repeat itself directly from yesterday, we're in territory for Tennessee State to get some runs on the board. Taylor rips this softball into deep left field, and that softball has got a Kyra Taylor-sized imprint on it. Get that softball out of here. Tennessee State is going to go ahead and take the lead thanks to Kyra Taylor. 2-1 ball game. Tigers now lead off of the bat of Kyra Taylor, and you see the celebrations, rightfully so and rightfully on cue here in the top of the second. Tennessee State takes the lead 2-1. Now up is Danny James for Tennessee State, the freshman, directly after a home run. Hard to beat that. I mean, how do you top that off? A home run from Kyra Taylor, who had one of their runs yesterday. She didn't get a hit yesterday, but she did score a run. Gets a hit today, starts her day off with a home run to deep left center field. Probably almost took the heads off of some of our fans here at the Red Hawks facility. A fantastic hit by Taylor. And now Stinson gonna have to work from behind. She's gonna have to rely on her offense to get her that lead back, rely on herself to come back here in the top of the second. No outs for SEMO. No runners now after Taylor cleared the bases. It's now a 1-2 count to Danny James after she fouls this baseball off. Softball off, excuse me. Don't know where that came from. Fouls another softball off. Goes directly behind her. 2-1 ball game here. A 1-2 count for Danny James in the top of the second. Tennessee State looking for their first win all season. Now a 2-2 count to James. Delivered by Stinson. James gets a piece of it. It will go foul, though. You see the gate over there. There's not a fully extended gate. Theoretically, if Madison Winkler in right field was able to get to that softball around the gate, she could have kept running, but it just landed a little bit too soon. Real quick, in the outfield, it's Madison Winkler in right for SEMO. Lily Delmain, the freshman, getting her first start in center all season. It's Brittany Afalter in the left. Then on the infield, Sydney Miles starting at third, and we'll tell you the rest after this pitch. It's going to be a strikeout for Elliott Stinson. Gets the freshman Danny James looking, and that's how you respond after giving up a home run. In the infield for SEMO, it's the freshman Sydney Miles starting over at third. Addie Martini at short. Camden Hutton at second. Aubrey Shore at first. The senior Elliott Stinson still on the bump post a head coach Mark Redburn visit, and Reagan Brannon catching. This is a look at that Kyra Taylor home run. Exactly right. It almost took off the heads of one of our SEMO Redhawks fans. They had to duck out the way just to avoid that softball. But what a hit by Kyra Taylor. You see Coach Mark Redburn visiting the mound. Real quick while we got some time, Coach Mark Redburn, a huge congratulations is out for Redburn, the head coach for SEMO. Here in his 12th season at SEMO, has just recently earned his 300th career win at SEMO. So Redburn now has 300 career wins at SEMO to add on to his 500 overall wins coaching softball throughout his career. What a coach Coach Mark Redburn is. Up to bat right now is Mariah Brown. She just fouled this softball off. She's their starting catcher today, now getting a chance to hit. It's an 0-2 count. One, 2 count now for Mariah Brown, a junior from Stockbridge, Georgia. A couple Georgia natives Tennessee State seems to recruit from. Got some Georgia natives, they got some Alabama natives, but Mariah from Stockbridge. And actually, she went to Stockbridge High School, which is the Stockbridge Tigers. So she went from Tigers in high school to Tigers in college. She's been here at Tennessee State her whole career. She gets a single. It's going to be an infield single. What a play by Addie Martini to be able to knock that softball down. I mean, wow. That is some effort, Addie Martini. Don't even know how she was able to even get the softball in the glove and then still transfer it for a throw. Martini unable to get the out, but a fantastic effort play nonetheless. It'll go down as an infield single for Mariah Brown. She's at first. Now Jaquila McDaniel up to bat. She sees the first pitch strike. One out, runner on first for Tennessee State. McDaniel squares bunt, but does not commit to it. Didn't like the pitch that she saw. If you're going to square bunt, you got to lay down the perfect bunt. She just didn't think she could do so on that pitch. Now an 0-2 count for Jaquila McDaniel. Delivered from Stinson. McDaniel didn't like it, so she didn't go. Now a 1-2 count. Stinson already up to 41 pitches today, but she'll get another strikeout to her name. That's her 4th of the day. gets Jakia McDaniel down on strikes. 2 outs for SEMO. Runner on first, Elliott Stinson, after giving up a home run this inning, has been dealing. She's got 2 strikeouts, 1 to Danny James, 1 to Jaquila McDaniel, and now she faces the very top of the lineup for Tennessee State, Jasmine Blackburn. Blackburn walked in her first AB today. Unable to get the ball down off of the bat, so it'll go as a strike. 1-1 count to Blackburn. Tennessee State up 2-1 after a Kyra Taylor home run this inning. Blackburn trying to do the same. This softball is gonna get over the head of Lily Delmain. She has done it. Play the trombones, play the saxophones. Jazz Blackburn has taken Elliott Stinson deep, and not only has she taken her deep, that's the second home run of the top of the second for Tennessee State. They're now up 4-1. Great shot by our camera crew there to see the dugout of the Tigers here at the ESPN Plus broadcast. What a shot. I mean, it literally went over the head of Delmain in center field, knocked her glove off over the fence. I hope she got that back before that last pitch was thrown. I'm sure she would have contested it if not. Elliott Stinson gives up her second home run of the inning. And she does indeed have that glove back. Thank you to Matt Fitzgerald, our camera operator right there, grabbing that shot. Elliott Stinson still on the bump. 4-1 lead for Tennessee State. 2 two-run shots have been hit this inning. It's a 4-1 lead for Tennessee State. Once again, looking for their first win of the year. Alexis Woods up to bat right now. Tennessee State came out swinging today, way more than they were yesterday. We talked about it earlier. Yesterday, Tennessee State only had 4 players to commit hits, and that's going to be a walk for Alexis Woods. She walks in 5 pitches. 2 outs for SEMO, but they can't get the inning to end. Next up will be Jace Jackson, just a girl who you don't want up to bat for SEMO. For Tennessee State, Jace Jackson hopefully going to give them a chance to advance their now new runner at first base. You see the meeting between Reagan Brannon behind the plate, Elliott Stinson on the mound, and Camden Hutton, who got to start at second today. You'll remember Hutton, she doesn't wear the visor. She wasn't wearing it yesterday. She's not wearing it today. Definitely something to talk to her and coach about before next game. See if that's a strategy thing, just a personal thing. Maybe she just doesn't like visors. I don't know. I'm speculating. We got a runner on first. It's Alexis Woods. 2 outs. Now a 1-0 count to Jace Jackson. Jackson gets a hold of the softball. It looks like it's in the foul territory, but SEMO's going to get the catch. It was Brittany Falter tracking it down. Even though the sun was at her eyes, she's still able to find it. Tennessee State gets a commanding 4-run top of the second after a couple of home runs off the bat of Kyra Taylor and Jazz Blackburn. You're watching SEMO Softball on ESPN+. We'll be right back. Back in at the Southeast Softball Complex, up to bat is Lily Blago of SEMO. She got the start as the extra hitter today, so she won't see the field, but she will hit, at least for the time being, at least in the bottom of the second. She's just hitting and not playing the field. Maybe her and Reagan Brandon will switch out. Maybe she'll switch out with Addie Martini. Who knows? You never know. Only time will tell. Right now, Lily Blago hitting fifth for SEMO here in the bottom of the second. And the scripts have turned compared to yesterday's game, at least. After the top of the second yesterday, the score was 4-1. SEMO's way. SEMO scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first yesterday. TSU is in Tennessee State, scored 1 in the top of the second yesterday. And at this very point, it was 4-1 SEMO's way yesterday. Now, after the off-speed pitch of Gordon finds the zone, it's a 2-1 count for Lily Blago. And Tennessee State, like I said, they flipped the script. They turned the tables. It's 4-1 Tigers' way here in the second. SEMO now going to have to hit from behind. We'll see what they can do today. Blago swings from the left side of the box, fouls this softball off, so it'll be a 2-2 count for the freshman from Salem, Illinois. We got a freshman matchup. Lily Blago, left-handed hitting freshman, batting for SEMO. Miriam Gordon, a right-handed throwing freshman for Tennessee State. Both of these teams have some seniority. They got a lot of juniors, but they also got some freshmen who can play. Gordon misses. So now a full count, a 3-2 count for Lily Blago. Here's the delivery from Gordon. Blago swings and fouls off another one. She does a great job of staying alive. Will get another chance to go. Lily Blago went to Salem High School out there in Salem, Illinois. Formerly a Wildcat, now turned a Red Hawk. Started all 4 years on varsity at Salem High School. Her senior year had a batting average of .425. Not too bad. Earned you a look at SEMO, and Lily Blago now earning a look at the base pass she'll walk on. SEMO gets a chance to get some more runners in their bottom of the first inning, and Blago will see a substitution made here pretty immediately. It's going to be Kaylin Yamnitz who comes in to run for Blago. So we saw that substitution be made yesterday. Yamnitz came in to run. She does the exact same today. We'll see if Yamnitz ends up hitting, but nonetheless, a freshman on freshman sub. Blago gets subbed for Kaylin Yamnitz. Now up to bat for SEMO, another freshman, Sydney Miles, who started at third today. Batting from the left side of the box. Miles swings, good chop, but no good. Ball doesn't go into fair territory. Excuse me. The umpire, the home plate umpire, Mr. Sloan, is going to call interference. That's Brad Sloan, home plate. It looks like what happened. Now, we are going to need to take a look at the replay, but it looks like what happened was Sydney Miles swung, and the bat hit the glove of Mariah Brown, who's catching for Tennessee State. That's what I assume was the call on the field. Nonetheless, it was an infraction, and Sydney Miles gets the base for free. So now you got Kaylin Yamnitz on second base, and you got Sydney Miles on first for SEMO. Now they're going to have Reagan Brannon up to bat. And that's not who you want up, at least with the history that she has with Tennessee State. And I'm just talking about yesterday. Yesterday, Reagan Brannon, she went 1 for 3. She had a double, but on that double, the bases were loaded. It was a bases-clearing double, a 3 RBI double for Reagan Brannon yesterday. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Yesterday, Brannon was that extra hitter. In baseball terms, she was the DH for the pitcher yesterday. Today, she started at catcher. So, Brannon gets to start at catcher instead of Gracie Luna today. Maybe she'll play both games. Maybe she's just starting the first game. We'll just let you know as much as we know. Yamnitz gets that secondary lead. Brown, the catcher, checks on her. 1-0 count for Reagan Brannon, the junior, out of Texas. Didn't transfer from Texas. She's just from Texas, originally from Mansfield, Texas. She did transfer, though, from Lamar University. Her first year here at SEMO is this year. She's making it count so far. A 2-0 count for Brannon. 2 runners on. No outs have been placed. Reagan Brannon, 179 average coming into this at-bat. She's got 10 hits on the year, and after yesterday's bases clearing double, she's second on the team in RBIs, second to only Madison Winkler. Winkler has 15 RBIs, and unless Brannon gets 5 RBIs today and Winkler gets none, nobody's catching Winkler in first with RBIs for the Red Hawks. Reagan Brannon, though, yesterday was tied in that 4th and 5th spot. And I'm just talking about RBI leaders on the SEMO Red Hawks. She was tied for 4th/5th with 3 yesterday, moves up to solo second. Solo second most RBIs on the SEMO Red Hawks team so far in the short season. SEMO 8-20 coming into today's matchup. They've won 4 out of their 9 total OVC matchups. They've lost 5 of them. Tennessee State, on the other hand, they've been swept in every OVC matchup, and they haven't won a softball game yet this year. Still looking for that taste of victory. A hit up the middle from Brannon. That's going to score 1. Here's the throw in, and it won't be in time. Kaylin Yamnitz gets home. She scores that run. And what I just said, Reagan Brannon might take it away from me. I said nobody was catching Winkler on those RBI lead for SEMO. Reagan Brannon doing her best job to do so. An RBI single for the junior from Texas. A great piece of hitting for Brannon. So now it's Brannon on first. You got Sydney Miles on second, and it looks as if we're seeing another pinch runner for SEMO. We got Jaylee Walder coming into the game. She is substituting at first base for Reagan Brannon, who just hit. She's the catcher, so she gets a sub. Yeah, Jaylee Walder comes in to run, another freshman. We got 2 freshmen on the base paths right now, Walder and Miles. And now hitting for SEMO, the veteran Camden Hutton. Hutton batted leadoff yesterday to start this series. She's batted leadoff a lot of the time this season. She gets moved to 8th in the lineup today, hoping to provide some hitting lower in the lineup for SEMO. And we got a double steal going on in the call at third. The throw wasn't even there, and it wasn't even a double steal. So Sydney Miles steals third base. We are yet to see the camera angle switch to see the runner on second. It was a double steal. Walder steals second. So you got Jaylee Walder on second. You got Sydney Miles on third. Runners on second and third. And now 2 runners in scoring position for Hutton. Hutton, who has a ton of RBIs on this year as well. She's got 8. She was tied for second on the team with the most RBIs heading into yesterday's matchup. But then, as mentioned, when Reagan Brannon was up, she overtook that second place lead. Here's Camden Hutton with the 1-2 count. Hutton gets a piece of this ball, and it's going to stay fair. Hutton's going to have extra bases. It's at least going to be a single RBI, and it is a double for Camden Hutton. She gets moved lower in the lineup, and she makes Coach Redburn pay. I don't think that Redburn's actually paying his move, probably paying off at this point. But for Camden Hutton, she gets all the way to second, and SEMO chopping back at this lead slowly but surely. Still no outs have happened. No outs have occurred for Tennessee State. Their manager, Janae McGrath, now meeting with the home plate umpire, potentially making some subs, potentially just asking some questions. So we get a look at McGrath talking to the umpire now. SEMO now within 1 run of Tennessee State. A 4-3 ball game Tennessee State's way. We're looking at a quick replay. It's Camden Hutton batting on this replay. She got the softball over the line of the third base woman. Stays in fair. You see runner Summer Miles scoring that run. You got Jaylee Walder moving over to third, and Camden Hutton advancing to second. Janae McGrath giving her team some encouragement. Tennessee State gonna have to stay on top of the defense if they want this ball game as bad as SEMO wants it. Tennessee State still looking for their first win of the year. They did so, they're doing good by scoring home runs here in the second inning on their top of the second frame. They hit a couple of home runs. SEMO now just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Not that home runs are anything against anybody. It's fantastic for Tennessee State that they were able to hit those dingers. But for SEMO, they're just getting base hits and advancing the runners. Not doing anything special, and right on cue, it's Madison Winkler up to bat. And she is going to get on base. It wasn't Winkler who was up to bat. It was Jasmine Minot. Minot pinch hits, comes in and immediately makes impact. Base is now loaded. It was a screamer to the third basewoman, so it wasn't able for anybody to, that ball was not in place for anybody to make a play on it, not able for runners to advance. And one more time, I need to be excused, I apologize. It was Lily Delmain who was up to bat. So now SEMO back to the top of the lineup. It's Brittany Afalter up to bat on the base pass. Lily Delmain at first, Camden Hutton at second, and Jaylee Walther at third. Bases loaded, no outs for the Red Hawks. They're within one. And here's a rip from Falter. They're going to go home with it. Tennessee State gets the force out at home. That is heads up softball by Alexis Woods. That's the second basewoman for Tennessee State. Goes home with it immediately. Mariah Brown applies the force tag. So nothing hurt for Tennessee State. For SEMO, also not too much hurt. You still got the bases packed. Runners at every base. You only got one out now, and a clean lineup for Madison Winkler. A clean count, an 0-0 count for Winkler with the bases loaded. Again, just not the woman you want up to bat in a runners in scoring position chance for SEMO. Yesterday, SEMO left 8 runners on the base paths throughout the entire day. Looking to improve on that number here this afternoon. Here's the pitch to Winkler. Winkler watches it in for a strike. Brittany Afalter recorded the first out here of the second inning for SEMO. Nothing hurt though, only one out. Runners in scoring positions at second and third. A pass ball could potentially score one. That one scooped up by Mariah Brown back there behind the plate. Great defense on Brown's end to stop a run from coming in. If a slow roller gets away, you got a fast Camden Hutton over at third base. So she's ready to go whenever she's ready. Winkler swings. Winkler gets a bat on the ball, but it's going to be fouled. It was cleanly played, cleanly fielded by KK Jean-Baptiste over at first, but it was just foul. So Jean-Baptiste does a good job knocking that ball down in case it were to be fair. You saw on the last ground out from Brittany Afalter, she's at first base because the second basewoman, Alexis Woods, went home with it. It's a force out anywhere. Be interesting to see if Winkler grounds the softball where the Tennessee State infield plays it. Do you just try and get 2 by going from second to, who knows? Winkler, very fast. It's going to be hard to double her up no matter what. Tennessee State has to know that. She was the starting center fielder yesterday, the starting right fielder today. She's their leadoff hitter. She leads them in average, in RBIs, as well as on base percentage. A couple of other stats to Winkler lead SEMO in as she gets a rip of this softball. It's going to be caught, but the tag from Hutton. Here's the relay, and it won't be in time. All runners advance. A sac fly for Madison Winkler. She does her job correctly. And that is going to be a tie game here at the Southeast Complex. All runners advance. You got a Falter moving to second. Lily Delmain moves to third. The play was made by Jaquila McDaniels out there in the left for Tennessee State. The throw just wasn't in time to get Hutton. Bottom of the second, 2 outs now. Runners still in scoring position in a tie ball game here at SEMO. Now Aubrey Shore up to bat. And she got hit. Aubrey Shore was hit. Bases are loaded yet again. Miriam Gordon was able to get the pop up from Madison Winkler, got the second out of the day. Bases were no longer loaded after the tag of Camden Hutton, but she hits Aubrey Shore. So now it'll be Addie Martini with the bases loaded and 2 outs. What will Martini do? Martini swings. That's a base hit into right center field. It's going to be extra bases. It's scoring 1. It's at least scoring 2. Addie Martini, a bases clearing double. What a rip from Martini with 2 outs. It doesn't matter. The first pitch that she sees, a 3 RBI double from Addie Martini. She's now got 11 RBIs on the year, and she's making it rain as she should. Ladies and gentlemen, a 6-run bottom of the second for SEMO. This is a team who has the most runs in the OVC in the 6th inning. In the 6th inning, SEMO has scored the most runs because they had a 10-run 6th inning earlier this year against Southern Indiana. Now, they're looking to build on that. They got a 6-run bottom of the second inning occurring right now, and it's Lily Blago up to bat. If you've been with us this entire game, if you've been with us at least the bottom of the second, Lily Blago now making it SEMO's batted around. SEMO has batted around this inning. I said that terribly. I'm sorry, I butchered that, but SEMO has now batted around. Blago gets a rip of this ball. It's going to go over the head of the left fielder. She's going to have an RBI double. She gets in safely. It was a close call there at second, unable to be fielded correctly. And SEMO now with a 7-run bottom of the second. Addie Martini scores off of Lily Blago's double. Wow, SEMO just not stopping. They can't be stopped. You see Janae McRath coming to the home plate umpire. You see her talking back there in the blue shirt. Some substitutions ought to be made after that error. You can only assume something will be made. Here's the look at Addie Martini's RBI double. Wow, the 3 RBI double from Martini. SEMO having a fantastic bottom of the second here. Now 7-4 SEMO's way. You're still seeing changes be made, and we're going to have a pitching change as well. So we're going to take a break. Still 2 outs. SEMO now has the lead. It's 8-4 Redhawks. You're watching SEMO softball on ESPN+. If you're looking at the box score, you wouldn't think we're only in the bottom of the second. SEMO currently on a 7-run and counting bottom of the second inning. A look at the last play that we saw was Lily Blago with a bases clearing double. She's now on second, and up for SEMO is the freshman Sydney Miles. She's up for the second time this inning. The bottom of the second started with Lily Blago, who's currently on second base walking. They have now gone through the entire lineup. Pitching change for Tennessee State after giving up 7 runs. It's Christian Holder into the game. Here's Holder's delivery, a little bit high and tight for Miles. 2-1 count, or 1-1 count, excuse me. Christian Holder coming into the game, a left-handed pitcher from Jackson, Tennessee. She stayed home. That's right. She's from Jackson, Tennessee, which is about 2 hours from Nashville, where Tennessee State is, but she stayed in her home state. Sydney Miles grounds out to first, and that is gonna do it for Christian Holder. She gets in and retires her first batter. SEMO, though, a whopping 7 runs in the bottom of the second. We'll see you. Welcome back into the Southeast Softball Complex. In case you're just joining us, SEMO off of a 7-run bottom of the second, which is right after Tennessee State had a 4-run top of the second. An 11-run total second inning between these teams. Now, a new pitcher for SEMO after their starter gave up 2 home runs to Tennessee State. It's Summer Branch into the game for the Red Hawks, and hitting for Tennessee State currently is their first baseman, KK Jean-Baptiste. Delivery from Branch. She gets her first strike of the day. Summer Branch, a freshman pitcher, now gets her first look at the game today from Jefferson City High School. Originally from Holt Summit, Missouri, but went to Jefferson City High School, the capital of Missouri. Jefferson City, it's where Branch went to high school. Now a 1-2 count here to Jean-Baptiste. The delivery a little bit low. Jean-Baptiste able to lay off. Jean-Baptiste, a senior from Palm Beach, Florida. She's been here all 4 years of her career. A veteran to Tennessee State, Jean-Baptiste is. Swings, and it is a strikeout. Summer Branch, the freshman, comes into the game, and her first batter that she faces, she strikes her out. You gotta be demoralized if you're Tennessee State. And the only reason I say that is because you have your best inning of the season. 2 home runs from Kyra Taylor and from Jazz Blackburn, and then SEMO comes in the bottom of the second and just wipes that away from the scoreboard. I mean, it was 4-1 after the top of the second, and now here in the top of the third, you see the scoreboard. It's 8-4 SEMO's way. What a second inning that we were just able to witness. And now up to bat is Haley Hunt for Tennessee State. Both of these teams nearly able to bat through their lineups in the second. SEMO was able to bat through the lineup in the second. Tennessee State, on the other hand, they batted 8 players in the second, so nearly batted through. They were just 1 short. Honestly, depends on your definition of batted through. Some people have different definitions of batted through. The way I describe batted through is the player who started the inning now comes up to bat again. That's when I will say that a team batted through. So SEMO, in the last frame, Lily Blago started the inning off batting, and she also finished it off batting. She was on the base pass, but she finished it off. So they batted through. Tennessee State not able to bat through yet. Haley Hunt now faces a 2-2 count. She was able to get on base and score due to a home run from Kyra Taylor, who is on deck currently earlier in this game. Hunt looking to get on again. She walked in her last at-bat. She now faces a full count. Summer Branch was not the pitcher to walk her. It was Elliott Stinson who started this game. Branch now comes in for her after 2. Here's the pitch. It's hit on by the Tennessee State Tigers, but fielded by the SEMO Redhawks. So an out by the Redhawks. Haley Hunt grounds out to Camden Hutton, and Summer Branch retires her first 2 batters in only 11 pitches. It's Camden Hutton over there at second who just made the play for SEMO. Summer Branch, the freshman pitcher, on the bump right now, and Kyra Taylor up to bat. Fresh off of a home run, so not the player that you want to be up to bat right now. She absolutely smoked a softball over the left center fence last time that she was up. And I'm talking about smoked. Like, she didn't just get that softball over the center field wall. We saw 2 home runs that inning, one from Jazz Blackburn, one from Kyra Taylor. Jazz is now, home run's a home run, right? Don't take away from Jazz Blackburn's home run, but it did barely go over the fence. It was nearly almost robbed by the center fielder, Lily Delmain. Her glove even went over the center field wall. That's how close she was to getting it. Kyra Taylor's was a no-doubter. I mean, she, as I mentioned on broadcast, she put a dent in that softball, I think. She smoked it way over the left field fence. She's looking to repeat again. Here's the 1-2 count to Taylor. She swings, and she is out of there. Summer Branch, 3 up, 3 down. SEMO looking to get some more runs on the board. You're watching SEMO Softball on ESPN+.
Energy needs may change with the seasons, but saving money makes sense all year. With CenterPoint Energy's efficiency programs, it's easy. Home energy assessments help spot ways to save. Rebates can lower heating, cooling equipment costs. And our online marketplace delivers energy-saving products to your door, electric and gas savings, all from your local energy provider. See how you can save this winter by going to centerpointenergy.com/smart-savings.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. We're big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. Strengthening our community since 1910. German American Bank.
Member FDIC.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
Welcome back to the Southeast Softball Complex. An 11-run second inning is what we are off of. The top of the third was 3 up, 3 down for Summer Branch for SEMO, but that second inning, one to remember. 4 runs in the top of the second by Tennessee State, 7 in the bottom by SEMO, and one of those bats who helped SEMO, Reagan Brannon, who's up to bat right now. New pitcher in the game for Tennessee State. She did finish the bottom of the second for the Tigers, but she only saw one batter. It's Christian Holder into the game now. She had to sub in after the starting pitcher gave up 7 runs in the bottom of the second. It was Miriam Gordon, and you can't do much when SEMO has the bats that they have. They were able to score tons of runs yesterday, 4 in the bottom of the first, 2 in the bottom of the sixth, and today already have not had an inning where they haven't scored. They had 1 in the first, and now they have had 2 in the second. We're now here in the bottom of the third. SEMO looking to get on the board again. A 3-0 count to Reagan Brannon. Last at bat, as I mentioned, Brandon did have an RBI single. Here's a delivery to Brandon. She'll watch the 3-0 pitch be delivered as a strike. You got to take that pitch. You knew it was coming. Now Christian Holder will get a chance to work from behind. 3-1 delivery. Brandon gets a piece of it, and it's ripped through the left side of the infield. Reagan Brandon, what a weekend that she's having. 4 RBIs on the weekend, 3 hits, and she's 2 for 2 today specifically. 2 singles for Reagan Brandon. That's going to bring up none other than Camden Hutton. Runner on first for SEMO. Hutton, you saw her give away the strategy just a little bit. She did show bunt, so Tennessee State absolutely saw that. We'll see how their infield decides to react. It's Christian Holder pitching for Tennessee State here in her second season with the Tigers. She's been here both years of her career. 5'5" left-hander Holder is. Delivering to the 5'6" right-handed Hutton. So you got Reagan Brandon on first base for SEMO from Texas. You got Camden Hutton at bat for SEMO, also from Texas. Camden Hutton specifically from Poolville, Texas. Originally committed to Texas State, then transferred to Vernon College, and now she's here at SEMO, her 3rd collegiate stop. She's having a really good start to the season. Now, this is a stat for before yesterday's game. So before yesterday's game, coming into the weekend, Camden Hutton and Madison Winkler are responsible for 21 runs and 21 RBIs. That's combined. Camden Hutton and Winkler as a back pick by Brown goes to first base. Brannon able to get there successfully. Camden Hutton and Madison Winkler had combined for 21 runs and RBIs of SEMO's through their first 27 games. Now Hutton moved to the 8th spot in the lineup for today's game. Already 1 for 1. She's looking to continue that streak. A 3-1 pitch is thrown. She goes down swinging, but she's still alive here. Gonna have to foul off with the 3-2 count. When I say foul off, she's just in that position where she's gonna have to stay alive. She's showing bunt here. She's going to pull back and swing. Hutton delivers this softball into left center field. It's going to be a multi-base hit. Brannon around second, gets to third. Camden Hutton gets into second, and on a pitch where she showed bunt, she pulled it back and then ripped the ball into deep left center within just a millisecond of her showing bunt. That was really impressive for Camden Hutton over there on first base. She advances on second base. She advances Reagan Brannon over to third, and now SEMO with no outs in another opportunity to score. 2 runners in scoring position, and we're going to see a full team meet at the bump for Tennessee State, and they're bringing in the full team. They bring in the outfielders, McDaniel, Blackburn, and Hunt. They bring in the infielders, James, Jackson, Woods, and John Baptiste. They even bring in the pitcher, obviously, Christian Holder. Meeting with them is their head coach, Janae McGrath. As we take a look at that replay, you see Camden Hutton pull back the bunt and nearly take Christian Holder deep. Fantastic piece of hitting for Hutton. Brandon gets over to third safely. Janae McGrath in her 4th season at Tennessee State, and she really has been great since she took over. Don't let this year's record disguise how good Janae McGrath has been since taking over this squad. She's already 2nd all-time in Tennessee State history wins. That's right. Only her 4th year here, and she's 2nd all-time in wins at Tennessee State. She's the first coach ever in Tennessee State history to lead the softball team to an OVC tournament win. So, Janae McGrath now heads back to the dugout, leaves Christian Holder to fend for herself, now facing none other than Lily Delmain. Lily Delmain watches the first pitch go as a strike. She's got a handle of what just occurred. Now she saw the strike. Lily Delmain already 1 for 1 in today's game. Yesterday, Delmain also had a good game. She ended up scoring a couple runs for SEMO, Two of their runs came off a defeat from Delmain. She also went 1 for 2 yesterday. Only 1 for 2. She did have 3 at-bats, but she walked in one of those. So she got a hit and didn't successfully reach in one of her other at-bats. Delmain now 1 for 1 today already. Gets to start in center field. A real good start to her freshman year, if I do say so myself. A 1-2 count now for Delmain. She watches this pitch in a strike. 2 runners in scoring position. No outs for Lily Delmain, the Eureka High School grad. Here's the pitch from Holder. Delivered to Delmain. Delmain's going to get an RBI single, maybe 2 of them. She gets that ball into center field, and it will be a 2 RBI single for the freshman Lily Delmain. She scores Camden Hutton. She scores Reagan Brannon. And Lily Delmain clears the bases, puts SEMO up 10-4. What a piece of hitting for Lily Delmain. She's now 2 for 2 on the day. She's scored 2 runs yesterday. She now has 3 RBIs today. Got the first start of the year in center field, and now she's going to steal second. Delmain just keeps making magic happen. You got to be impressed by a freshman playing at the high level that Lily Delmain is playing out here for SEMO. Christian Holder still on the bump, giving up a couple of runs now. Tennessee State down at 6. It's 10-4 SEMO's way. Here's Brittany Afalter to bat. Pitch to Afalter. She's going to lay down the bunt, but she pulled it back. She was just showing it a little bit, and after Camden Hutton's shenanigans earlier in this game when she showed bunt and then had a double to deep left center field, I'm not sure Tennessee State is trusting anybody's bunt. Brittany Afalter 1 for 2 so far in today's game. Got moved to the starting position in the lineup, and Delmain went for a delayed steal at third. She's going to get it. Lily Delmain, you can see it on our angle from the center field camera. We're going to have to look at that. Lily Delmain, not a traditional steal. It was after the pitch occurred. She was studying Christian Holder this entire time that she's been in the game. She watched how slow it takes her to get on the mound and delivered. And I only say that because Delmain must have had to think it was slow to get over to third. She timed up Holder perfectly. A freshman is doing that, by the way. Delmain, great base running as Afalter walks a senior, a veteran, seeing the ball in the zone, just wasn't seeing it hit the zone. Afalter's on first, Delmain's on third. SEMO already scored twice this inning, and they're not done. No outs have occurred, and Janae McGrath yet again is going to have to visit the mound. We'll see what goes on, what sort of subs remain. McGrath. Looks like we're going to see a pitching change. So, a pitching change to be made here. Christian Holder coming out of the game, and we'll let you know who that is coming into the game when we get back. SEMO 10, Tennessee State 4. You'll be watching SEMO softball on ESPN Plus when we get back. We're back in at the Southeast Softball Complex. It's Courtney Richardson on the mound for Tennessee State, the two-way player. If you were here yesterday witnessing SEMO and Tennessee State playing some softball, Courtney Richardson subbed into this game mid-fourth inning and played some third base for Tennessee State. Today, they're subbing her in to pitch. We're taking a look at what occurred earlier this inning when Lily Delmain had a bases-clearing single. You take a fantastic two-angle look at the hit and the runners scoring. Great look from our replay coordinator on that. And Courtney Richardson now into the game. She's got Madison Winkler as her first batter. That's going to be a tough first batter to face. No outs for Richardson. You'll see SEMO steal. It's Brittany Afalter getting the second. You saw Mariah Brown behind the plate for Tennessee State kind of faked that throw down. She threw it really hard to her pitcher. Just a strategy to try and get the runner at third, Lily Delmain, on her toes. Maybe they could have backpicked her. That's the goal for Tennessee State. Lily Delmain already stole third on a delayed steal. She's not getting caught doing anything wrong on the base pass. She's doing great today. Madison Winkler sees her first strike, a 1-1 count. SEMO has scored in every single frame. They scored 1 in the bottom of the first. They scored 7 in the bottom of the second. They've now scored 2 and counting in the bottom of the third. There's no outs and 2 runners in scoring position, and Winkler is going to get hit. Yep, you saw Courtney Richardson throw her hands up. You heard the hesitation in my voice. I wasn't sure if Winkler actually got hit, but she did. Winkler knew it. Umpire knew it. So the bases are now loaded again. Courtney Richardson in her first at-bat is going to hit Madison Winkler. She's going to have to work from behind now. Courtney Richardson, the pitcher, a two-way player, originally from Dyersburg, Tennessee. She went to Blue Mountain College last year. This is her first year at Tennessee State. Here's the 0-0 delivery to Aubrey Shore. It's in the dirt, but it's fielded by Mariah Brown. So Richardson transferred from Blue Mountain Christian University. It used to be Blue Mountain College, changed it to Blue Mountain Christian University. It's a school located in Blue Mountain, Mississippi. Now she goes up to Nashville, Tennessee to play some softball for Tennessee State. Shore swings on it. She sure did rip that ball, but it went foul. Almost off the legs of Coach Mark Redburn. Courtney Richardson, a two-way player. She's been hitting. She's been pitching her entire career. Did both in high school, did both at Blue Mountain, and now doing both for Tennessee State. He's originally from Tennessee, though, so coming back here, staying home a little bit. Dyersburg, where she's originally from, is about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive from Nashville, where Tennessee State is located. So playing at home when they are playing at home. Here's a delivery from Richardson. Swung on by Shore. Aubrey Shore is seeing the ball, but she's not hitting it fair. She's just a little bit ahead of Richardson's pitches. Still, a 2-2 count now for Shore. Still bases loaded. Still 0 outs. Here's the 2-2 delivery to Shore. A little bit high. It'll be full to Aubrey Shore. This is a make or break pitch right here. If you miss it, you're walking in a run. You got to hit this pitch right here. Aubrey Shore looking for a strike. Two-time OVC Player of the Year, Shore is. This softball just a bit low and outside. Tennessee State's going to walk in a run after already giving up 2 earned. It is going to be an 11-4 lead SEMO's way. Still no outs, and now with that walk, the bases will still be loaded. Up to bat now, Addie Martini. Also not the batter you want up with no outs and the bases loaded, your cleanup hitter. Martini, yet to see a strike from Richardson. Just walked shore. First pitch to Martini was in for a ball. Addie Martini today started her 36th straight game. Goes back to last season. She started 36 straight games. Martini sees a strike. So now a 1-1 count. Most of those starts are at the shortstop position. Yesterday she started at third. Other starts have been at third. But Martini back to the shortstop position today. Originally from St. Joseph, Illinois, Martini is. She almost swings, but lays off of the high fastball. 2-1 count for Addie Martini. Martini 1 for 2 today already. She swings. She gets it off of Mark Redburn. Confirmed that it hit Coach Redburn this time. Geez, you see him laughing that off. Gotta hope he's all right. You gotta assume he's all right. Yeah, shrugs it off. Thank you, Coach, for letting us know you're all good. He's all good. Nothing hit off of him. He's fine. It'll be a 2-2 count to Addie Martini. Fresh off a hit in her head coach. No outs. Looking to hit this one in fair territory. Here's a delivery. Martini swings, gets it down. It's fielded by the shortstop, Jackson. Thrown over to Baptiste at first. Addie Martini, although she grounds out an RBI nonetheless. So no runner on first. It'll be runners on second and third. 1 out for SEMO. And they add another run to the scoreboard. It's 12-4 Red Hawks way. It's going to be Lily Blago up to bat. Her third AB of the day here in the third inning. First pitch strike to Blago. Blago, a freshman from Salem, Illinois. There's the 0-1 delivery. Richardson finds the zone again. So an 0-2 count now for Lily Blago, who went to Salem High School at Salem, won her team softball MVP award, as well as being awarded the best offensive player in multiple seasons at Salem. 0-2 count, a little bit outside. I believe it is a 2-1 count now. Here's a delivery to Blago. Blago watches it outside. Now 2-2. Courtney Richardson still dealing. Came into this game to replace her counterpart. She replaced Christian Holder, who replaced Miriam Gordon. This is a look at the third pitcher of the game for Tennessee State. Richardson delivers, and it's a little bit outside. Ball 3 for Blago. So now a 3-2 count to Lily Blago. 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position. Only force out for the infield is going to be at first base. The delivery to Blago. She has to lean a little bit inside. Didn't like that pitch. And it's a walk for Lily Blago. Courtney Richardson walks her second batter of the inning. Bases loaded yet again for the Red Hawks, and that's going to bring up Sydney Miles. Janae McGrath yet again making a substitution here for Tennessee State. We are yet to see who has been subbed in, so we'll update you guys with that. Currently in the outfield for Tennessee State before we see any subs being made. It's Jazz Blackbird in center, Shaquila McDaniel in left, Haley Hunt in right, Danny James at short, Danny James at third, Jace Jackson at short, Alexis Woods at second, and KK Jean-Baptiste, who you're seeing on screen at first right now. We also have a pinch runner for SEMO. It's Jasmine Minot coming in to the game, running for Lily Blago. Lily Blago walks and sees first base. Jasmine Mono now subs in for her and is running at first. So you got Mono at first. Aubrey Shore is the runner on second. And none other than Madison Winkler, the runner on third. You're looking at Courtney Richardson, the third pitcher of the game for Tennessee State. She went to Dyersburg High School out in Dyersburg, Tennessee. A little something about Dyersburg High School. Or not Dyersburg High School, but the Dyersburg area. It's home to the Dyersburg State Community College. There's a community college out in Dyersburg. There's a famous basketball coach who started his career at Dyersburg State Community College. He's now the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Formerly was the head basketball coach at Kentucky. Started his career off at Dyersburg State Community College as the head coach at 23 years old. That's legendary coach John Calipari. He was starting his career out in Tennessee at Dyersburg State Community College. And Dyersburg is where our starting pitcher, or our current pitcher, she did not start the day, Courtney Richardson is from. Now a 0-1 count to her batter. It's Abby Robbins, who did recently sub in for Sydney Miles. Robbins, in her first hit, gets a rip of it. It goes all the way to the left field wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score in Abby Robbins. In her first action of the day, almost bases clearing, a 2 RBI double for Abby Robbins. What a hit from Robbins. Now a 10-run lead for SEMO in 3. Wow. What a hit for Robbins. So now you got Abby Robbins, the senior, on second. What a hit. You got Jasmine Monod on third. You sub in, and you get a hit all the way to the left field wall. 2 RBIs. What a play for Robbins. Now up to bat is Reagan Brannon. SEMO scored 1 run in the first. They've now scored 6 here in the third. They scored 7 last inning in the second. They are scoring 6 and counting here in the third. SEMO up 14-4 in the bottom of the third. Had many runs scored. Cannot count the amount of runs that SEMO has scored today on one hand. You can't even count them on both hands. Reagan Brannon gets a hold of this ball. Richardson fields it, plays to first. Great ball by Richardson to be able to look the runner, Mono, back to third and then fire the ball over to Jean-Baptiste at first. They were laughing up there, and the only thing that I don't know them. I don't know what they were talking about. But the only thing that I can assume happened is Richardson apologized for how hard she threw that ball over to first. I mean, she fired that softball over to Jean-Baptiste at first. But KK, who is the first baseman for Tennessee State, is a senior. She's been here 4 years. She's able to make those plays, no problem. Still runners on second and third for SEMO. And now up to bat is Mary Tutwiler. You got another substitution for the Red Hawks. Camden Hutton out of the game, currently, for the moment. And Mary Tutwiler getting her first at-bat of the day of the series with Tennessee State. Tutwiler has a 167 average coming into this game. Tutwiler pops it up. Trouble in the sun. Jace Jackson, no problem for Tennessee State. A 6-run bottom of the third for the Red Hawks. They take a 10-run lead. It's SEMO 14, Tennessee State 4. We'll see you in the top of the fourth. You're watching SEMO Softball on ESPN+. Welcome back into the Southeast Softball Complex. SEMO currently holds a 10-run lead with a score of 14 runs to 4. Summer Branch currently pitching. The first batter she'll face is Danny James of Tennessee State. Then she'll face Mariah Brown and Jaquila McDaniels after that if there are no subs. Well, I was mistaken. Why did I talk? You got a very first hitter sub. No more Danny James hitting. You're actually looking at Caden Porter, who's up to bat right now. Porter did sub in late yesterday against SEMO. We got to see her hit once. Porter gets a chance to hit again today. A transfer from Western Illinois. She's a junior, played her first two years at Western Illinois, and now she has quickly moved into the lineup for Tennessee State here in her first year here. Summer Branch throwing for SEMO now, a 2-1 count to Caden Porter. Summer Branch, a freshman. So far this year, Branch throwing a 7.71 ERA through 16 innings pitched. She has not started. She's been purely a relieving pitcher as she gets Porter on a swing. 2-2 count to Caden Porter. Here's a delivery from Branch. Porter gets a rip of that ball. It's going to get down. A single for Caden Porter. Good piece of hitting from Porter. Comes in pinch hitting for the freshman, Danny James, and she gets on base. Caden Porter doing what she does for Tennessee State. Next up, that means it'll be Mariah Brown up for Tennessee State, their starting catcher. Summer Branch gives up her first batter not her first batter, but she's given up her first runner. Swung on by Brown. It's going to be caught by Hutton at second base. Porter able to get back to first before the force could even be attempted. Camden Hutton staying on her toes. I know we didn't see the exact play at home. We'll get a replay sometime for you guys. But Camden Hutton was on her toes quickly. That's all I can say. Was able to make that play. It went right to her, and she was ready. Jaquila McDaniel up to bat right now. Tennessee State was up 4-1 at a point in this game. It was 4-1 after the top of the second. It was 1-0 SEMO after the first. And in the top of the second, as McDaniel lays a bunt down, but it goes foul. So it'll be 1-1 count to McDaniel. SEMO was down 4-1 heading into the bottom of the second, thanks to a couple home runs by Tennessee State. It was Kyra Taylor who started the game off with a 2-run home run, and then Jazz Blackburn continued the streak, also hit a 2-run home run for Tennessee State, and it was an electric top of the second. But since then, it's been all SEMO. In the bottom of the second, SEMO scored 7 runs. In the bottom of the third, they just scored 6 runs. So they've just been stacking and stacking ever since Tennessee State hit a couple homers. Tennessee State looking to get a lead back. McDaniel cleanly lays down this bunt. Is fielded by Branch over to first, and they're going to say they got her. Janae McGrath, the head coach for Tennessee State's over there at first base, immediately calls for a challenge. She knows. She thinks she knows. I'm with you, Coach McGrath. She knows that she was safe over there at first base. McDaniel, bunting for a reason, is a really quick player, and she ran that out. It sure looked close. We're going to take a look at the instant replay. You see the home plate umpire, Brad Sloan, walking over to the board. We'll grab you guys a replay on broadcast whenever we decide to go over to that. But the play is she safe? Is Jaquila McDaniel safe? That is the play. We're looking at this replay right now. Here's the bunt laid down by McDaniel. We'll slow it down when she gets close to first base. And we're going to need another look at that. Man, is that close. You see McGrath, though, the head coach for Tennessee State, immediately grabbing her head and calling for the challenge. Man, that was a close play. I mean, I've never seen a faster challenge than that. You got the MLB world these days where these players are having to do the ABS challenges. If you guys have seen those, the MLB now going to where you can challenge balls and strikes, but you got to do it immediately. That's the thing. These catchers and hitters in the Major League Baseball now having to tap their head or their helmet immediately after a pitch if they want to challenge it. Janae McGrath must have been watching some MLB because she did that exactly after the play occurred. She was touching her ears, letting them know that they wanted to challenge it. And according to our production crew here at ESPN Plus, our instant replay has gone down here at SEMO, so we won't have another look at that. But we do get the call from Brad Sloan. And he calls McDaniel out at first. An unsuccessful challenge for Janae McGrath, the head coach for Tennessee State. They'll say that Jaquila McDaniel did not run out the play to first. So 2 outs for SEMO with the runner on second. Here's Summer Branch with the pitch. So the word is in that we do have instant replay on our ESPN Plus broadcast. We've showed you guys a couple of replays. Where they don't have instant replay is actually at the facility. So Janae McGrath, I don't see an angle of her right now. I can't imagine that she is happy. Instant replay went down at the facility here at the Southeast Softball Complex. So when they challenged that, the umpires weren't looking at a play. They just had to stick with the call on the field because the instant replay's down. Here's a grounder from Blackburn, fielded by Martini, caught by Shore. That's going to be 4 up, but 3 down for SEMO. They still hold a 14-4 lead. We'll see you in the bottom of the fourth. You're watching SEMO Softball on ESPN Plus. We are back at the Southeast Softball Complex. SEMO 14, Tennessee State 4. It's been a dominating game for the Redhawks after the top of the second. We've talked about it all day. Tennessee State had that huge top of the second, and it's just been all Redhawks since then. You're looking at Courtney Richardson, the pitcher for Tennessee State. She's the third one who they have had in the game. And we got a pinch hitter for SEMO. It's Haley Burnett into the game for Lily Delmain. Just this at bat. It's Burnett up now with a 1-0 count. Burnett didn't get an at bat yesterday. Her first at bat of the series for the Cape Girardeau native. That's right. Haley Burnett went to Notre Dame High School, just right down the road here in Cape Girardeau. Was lucky enough to earn herself some looks from the SEMO softball team. And here she is, doing just that, living out every kid's dream, playing some college Division I at that softball right in your backyard. Haley Burnett facing Courtney Richardson. Here's the pitch to Burnett. 2-1 count now for Haley Burnett. Went to Notre Dame High School last year. She's a junior here at SEMO, so she's been here now. This is her third year. Last year, she started 21 games throughout the season and hit a .298 average throughout the year. Burnett rips this softball. It's going to be fielded by Jackson and thrown out to Jean-Baptiste at first.
Now coming up for SEMO.
So Haley Burnett in her first action today gets the bat on the ball. It was ripped hard, but Jace Jackson at shortstop is a fantastic defender, a fantastic all-around softball player, able to make that play. Back to the start of the lineup for SEMO. Leadoff hitter Brittany Afalter up right back to Jackson. Jackson making 2 plays back to back. I mean, she's got to have a magnet in the glove or something, right? How did SEMO just hit it to her 2 straight times? Not even 2 batters in a row. 2 straight pitches in a row. They went straight to Jackson. We'll see if she can get 3. Another lefty up for SEMO. It's Madison Winkler after Afalter's ground out and Burnett's ground out. We'll see what Madison Winkler has up her sleeve. And a bunt was up her sleeve. It looks like something was up the sleeve of Winkler, trying to finesse a little on-base action for herself. Leads this team in on-base percentage. She's got a .400 even on-base percentage coming into today's game. Winkler swings, ground out to Jean-Baptiste. She was unable to field it. Excuse my stutter. I thought Jean-Baptiste fielded it. She was thinking about the tag before she was thinking about the ball. You gotta see the ball into the glove before you run over there. Was just thinking too far ahead. Everybody's made that mistake. Jean-Baptiste absolutely will make up for it. In the meantime, Madison Winkler on first base and Aubrey Shore up to bat. So Aubrey Shore, been at SEMO now for 5 years, is a 2-time OVC Player of the Year, not a 2-time All-OVC teamer. She's a 2-time Player of the Year. One Player of the Year in 2023. She fouls this ball off, as well as in 2022. Shore last season, the 2025 season, would have been her senior year, but she missed the entire season due to a back injury, was granted a medical hardship for this season, an extra year of eligibility. So for SEMO fans, some rejoicing. Aubrey Shore back again this year for her final year. She was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat. Now she gets a piece of it. It's flown out to center. Jazz Blackburn's going to be the one to catch it. SEMO, 3 outs, and they're out of here. We'll see you in the top of the 5th, where the run limit is 8 runs after 5. Tennessee State gonna need some runs right now. My name Kyler Messenger, bringing you the game. You're watching OVC Softball on ESPN+.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
Welcome back into the Southeast Softball Complex. SEMO up 10. It's SEMO 14, Tennessee State 4. Currently up to bat is Alexis Woods of the Tigers. She gets the first pitch up, but it's going to be caught by Addie Martini of SEMO over there at short. One pitch for Summer Branch is all she needed to get the first out of the top of the fifth. So we have a little update with a run limit rule here in collegiate softball. It's 8 after 5. What that means is if a team is leading by 8 runs or more after the completion of the 5th inning, then the game will be over. It'll be called mercy rule. SEMO looking to have those numbers. Tennessee State going to have to score 6 runs this top of the 5th inning if they don't want the game to end after the 5th frame. Up right now, Jace Jackson looking to make that happen. She's got a high screamer, looking like it's going out to a falter in left. She won't falter. She'll make the play. Brittany Falter makes the second out for SEMO. Gets the high five from Lily Delmain. Yeah, that's what I thought. Excuse me. It's Jasmine Mano out there in center. Delmain was pulled from the field. Jasmine Mano now in center. Potentially the last batter for Tennessee State of this top of the 5th. It's KK Jean-Baptiste up to bat. Jean-Baptiste pops up, and SEMO will not bat. If this is caught, it will be caught by Madison Winkler out in right. That is going to do it for the first game today. Double header between Tennessee State and SEMO. The very first game is won by the Redhawks in dominant fashion. SEMO scores 1 run in the bottom of the first. They score 7 in the second and 6 in the third en route to a 14-4 victory. Tons of players scored today. Tons of players hit today. It's going to be just impossible to pick who did the best. We'll look at a couple of plays from today. This is how SEMO started the day off. That's how they scored the very first run of the day. It was by a passed ball. Here's a look at the top of the second inning when Tennessee State was dominating. You had Kyra Taylor take a ball deep to left center field. Then she was followed by Jazz Blackburn in the same inning who took a ball deep to left field. So they had 2 home runs in the top of the second. Addie Martini at shortstop for SEMO was out there making all kinds of plays. Here is the look at Blackburn's home run. You saw the camera operator there in center field going to grab the softball after it was hit. SEMO just kept adding runs even though Tennessee State was the only team to hit a home run today, and they hit 2 of them. SEMO just kept tagging on runs themselves. They had 10 hits compared to Tennessee State's 4. Another factor of the game, Tennessee State also had 3 errors today, while SEMO didn't have a single one. In the first matchup yesterday, SEMO won 7-2. In the first matchup today, SEMO wins 14-4. My name is Kyler Messenger, bringing you today's broadcast. Don't go anywhere, though. We will be here again for the double header, but before that, we're going to take a break and restart our broadcast. So, my name is Kyler Messenger saying so long from the Southeast Softball Complex in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where the final score after the 5th inning was 14-4 SEMO's way. All games are airing on the ESPN network and streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN+.